And good morning. This is the AM Club Live on MX24, and my name is Edma Lawe.
And my name is Godwin Namboh. It's Thursday, the 23rd of September, meaning some 7 more days till the end of the month.
Already? Because I remember when it was 1st September and we announced it, and now it's already like the end of the month, and I'm like...
October is just around the corner.
Meaning that the year is literally over.
Are we excited about it?
Yeah, I am. I think we achieved... Well, we haven't ended the year yet, but I think so far... There's been progress in terms of my own personal achievements, so I'm happy.
Me too.
Yeah.
I must say, I'm very, very excited.
Yeah.
And we hope you are also happy about your achievement. But welcome to the AM Club, coming to you live from our Silicon Square studios here in East Legon, Accra.
So, we are home to fun, fearless and factual content, of course, and we'll be here to keep you entertained, inspired and informed for the next 2 hours.
Thursday, throwback. I'm excited. But look out for Coffee Daily, which is our very first segment, where we will be recapping some of the top most trending stories in the world in the last 24 hours.
And then the big conversation comes up next with Lifestyle Daily, where we take a look at issues affecting your everyday living. So just as you already know, Thursdays are dedicated to health, and in today's episode we will have an educational session on sexual transmitted diseases, STDs,
Sexually
and STIs.
transmitted diseases. So
yes.
The boys out there who want your questions answered, do well to send us.
And the girls out there who also need a lot of education, please do stay tuned.
Beautiful. Our hashtag today is Throwback Thursday, and today we are hosting one of your favorite old-time artists who has also been making bangers year on year. We'll be talking to Little Shaker.
Remember, this is the AM Club, where you are a major part of the show, so do join us online via YouTube, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook with the handle at MX24GH, and do make sure that you hashtag us on Twitter with the hashtag the AM Club.
And also, you can reach us on our WhatsApp number 055-033-1511. It's going to be on your screens shortly. 055-033-1511. Do also send us your comments, voice notes, video reactions to all the stories we cover on the show here today.
It's now time for hashtag my daily dose of Vim, and in the spirit of Throwback Thursday, let's take you back to 2012, 9 years ago. Do you remember that song by RTVs? Well, I, baby, I'm a Juno Vancouver, I'm a soldier. Hey, dance the life is sweeter than
one.
Story, but in the end they go leave you lonely. So make your own story.
Bring the storm with me, weather, cause we got cheese.
back, ladies and gentlemen, and that was RTVs with Walai, and is one of my favorite songs. So this throwback just hit me and gingered me for this morning. Okay, so this is still the AM Club live on MX24, where we are fun, fearless, and of course factual. But before we get into Coffee Daily, I mean, you already know this. This is a quick reminder that September Rush is here. At any point in time, we'll play a buzzer, which is Malcolm Nuna featuring Kwame Eugene's Money Man remix. And once you see the buzzer on your screens, you will have to call in to win any of these fantastic gadgets, courtesy our sponsor, Compute Ghana. So do make sure that you stay tuned and you stay posted. The number will show on your TV screens. So as soon as you hear the buzzer or you see the buzzer on your TV screens, please do make sure you call in. Okay, so now it's time for Coffee Daily, where we talk about all the trending stories within the last 24 hours. Godwin is standing by with the first story.
I sure am, Edma, and let's give it to them. The very first story. Now, provisional figures from the Ghana Statistical Service indicate that Ghana's current population is 30.8 million. This is according to provisional results from the 2021 Population and Housing Census, also known as PHC. According to government statistician Professor Samuel Kobina-Enim, this represents a 6.1 million increase from the 24.7 million recorded during the last count in 2010. The gender demography also revealed that 50.7% of the national figure are females, while males make up 49.3%. Greater Accra remains the most populated area, with 5.44 million people compared to the 4 million recorded in 2010. It is followed by the Ashanti region with 5.43 million people from 4.8 million recorded during the last count. The Ahafo region, however, has the smallest population with 600,000 people. Now let's take a look at some findings or the reports that came in from the Ghana Statistical Service as we bring them to you. And there you have it, Ghana Statistical Service 2021 Population and Housing Census press release on provisional results. And it says that today, 22nd September 2021, Ghana Statistical Service released a preliminary report which gives the provisional results from the 2021 Population and Housing Census. And let's look at the key takeaways quickly. Number one, Ghana's population figure from the 2021 PHC is 30.8 million. The population has grown almost fivefold since the first post-independence census was conducted in 1960. Ghana's population is growing, but at a declining rate compared with previous censuses. Ghana's females make up a greater proportion of the population in the 2021 PHC, as has been the trend for the past 4 censuses. That's 40 years. They outnumber males in 10 out of the 16 regions. Greater Accra has overtaken Ashanti as the nation's most populous region, of course, and 6 Ahafo has replaced Upper West as the nation's least populous region. 7, average household size, which has been on the decline since 2000, is 3.6 members. Out of the 10.7 million structures listed, 20% were metal containers, kiosk, and wooden structures. And 1 out of every 5 of the structures listed was not fully completed. And the last information on this particular list, the information on structure usage indicated 6 out of every 10 structures were for residential use. 6 out of 10. That's interesting. Population changes since the 2010, and then you have it over here, as you can see, from 1960 to 2021, how it has shot up from 6.7 to 30.8 million people. Wow. Population size by region, and it starts, of course, with the Greater Accra region, and this is the 2021 PHC. The population size of Greater Accra region is 5,446,237 people. Then you have Ashanti region coming close with 5,432,485, and it continues. Eastern region follows after Ashanti, then Central, Northern, Western Volta, Upper East, Bono East, Upper West, Western North, Oti, Northeast, Savannah, and Afro. So it's like the more we go up, the less number of people live there. And some tweets coming in. This one is from popular broadcaster Israelite. He says, of the 30.8 million people in Ghana, according to provisional results of the 2021 Population and Housing Census, 15.6 million are females, while 15.2 are males. Essentially, the women still outnumber the men by some 400 400,000. And why are you looking at me like that?
The reason why I'm looking at you like this is because it's actually quite worrying. If there are more women than men in Ghana and women find themselves, there's less women in key sectors, I mean, that is worrying, really. That's my point right there. But go on.
So that's why you're looking at me like that?
Yes, that's why I'm looking at you like that.
Come to think of it, if you're all practicing monogamy... And
no!
Okay.
No!
As Akwesi Pai says that an estimation of 400,000 women more than men in Ghana, according to the new census, and yet still, boys the Nash Senior. Tell me about it. Hey, I know the Bible. Nathan Kwa, of course, says there are 8.3 million households in Ghana per the census results. However, the average size of a household is 3.6, which is the lowest ever in Ghana's history. Are more people living alone? Are families giving birth to fewer children? What do you think? It's a good question, Nathan. Obuasi Journal Scientist says that Greater Accra takes over Ashanti region to become the most populous region in the country now. This is according to the provisional results from the Population and Housing Census. Ghana's population hits 30.8 million. Women in the country outnumber men, of course. As Kamara 2-1 Kamara says, even though I never met any population census personnel, I was told by my father's side that they included me when they gave out the information, as did my mother's side. Now I was counted as 2, and this made me wonder how accurate this Ghana census is. Listen, I know they have their modalities. They will know how to go about it.
But my point is now, well, you finished the tweet and I'll just...
Of course, that's the last one.
So that was the last one. So my point really is, there are more people coming from other communities to the capital to mainly find job opportunities and find greener pastures as well for themselves. But obviously, the whole point of the One District, One Factory was to build those districts in, those factories in districts to create jobs and employment for those people so that they do not necessarily move to the capital. Because right now, we have a lot of people in Greater Accra region. And my point is, are we now going to focus on smaller communities and districts to create more jobs around there so that they do not have to necessarily move? Because we really do need to depopularize Greater Accra region. Yeah,
that's true. But we're also calling on the people in the diaspora to come and live in Ghana, to move to Ghana. And I think when they come, of course, their first target will be the Greater Accra region. So if more people have moved,
no, not necessarily.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I mean,
the capital, but then I know a lot of people who moved from the diaspora to Kumasi, the Ashanti region, and not necessarily to like the Greater Accra region. But then my point is, it's good to, of course, build your capital city. I mean, that's the whole point of it being the capital city. Then also look at the other regions as well, create more jobs and employment for those regions as well, so that the people wouldn't necessarily have to move to the capital to find jobs. And greener pastures for themselves. Yeah,
it makes sense.
That's just my point.
It makes sense. Meanwhile, the final results of the 2021 Population and Housing Census are expected to be announced in November 2021.
Okay, so now let's move to the Western region, where the Western Regional Minister, Kwabena Otredan-Komensa, claims preliminary investigations by the National Intelligence Bureau shows the story of the pregnant woman who went missing in Takoradi is fake. According to the minister, doctors who are providing health support to her says she was not pregnant. Speaking at a Kumasi-based FM, the minister said, and I quote, "The BNI sent a report yesterday that the missing lady had been found and sent to the Axim Hospital with police personnel on guard and a medical doctor taking care of her. From preliminary investigations, they suspect that this whole story was fake, and the medical doctor who even looked at her has seen that she was not pregnant and has never been pregnant." Wow. I understand the Western Regional Minister putting information out, but then I think it was too early, because really and truly is just preliminary investigations, and really and truly, I don't think that such information should have been put out just yet for the protection of the family of the lady who went missing as well. Even if it's fake, I think it's too soon to put such information out.
I agree. Maybe also he wants to calm this, because we were saying yesterday about how Takoradi has become, or the Western region has become, a place for criminals
Yeah,
and
absolutely. But
kidnappings
then
and all
there's
that.
a
So maybe
way
he
of
wants to-
calming nerves without
Absolutely.
having to put this specific type of information
I
out.
totally agree with you,
Yeah.
Edma, on that particular story. But what have you been saying on social media? Let's check it out. At That So-Called says, stories surrounding the return of allegedly kidnapped Josephine Simons in Takoradi getting murkier by the day. The regional minister earlier today quashed the claim that she was kidnapped and was pregnant according to investigations from the NIB or the BNI. I think he
BNI.
wanted to say BNI. However, the family still insists. He didn't finish his tweet. At Annie Osabute says, it is now imagined that the kidnapped woman already has a child, which disproves what the regional minister claims she didn't have any and was being pressured to deliver. When will our politicians learn to insulate themselves from issues until the experts speak? Interesting. At Dune_Dream says, this Western regional minister shouldn't be at post with an angry face. My brother or my sister, relax. Public servants should learn public service, public relations, and public communications. You don't speak like... I like our producer has plucked that.
I know, right? I like that as well.
You just don't, with another angry face. And I totally understand this as well. Emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence. As Maunya says, but why will you fake your kidnapping and pregnancy? You see, so right now, accusations are pouring in, whether it's true or not, but why will you fake your kidnapping and pregnancy only for Western Regional Minister to expose you? Something is not adding up here. On what purpose will a 28-year-old woman play with her life this way? It's the same question in my
And
mind.
I'm sure there were people, I mean, there are people who also came out and said that it's a continuous thing that she does every single morning while she's pregnant for health reasons. She goes out at 5 a.m. to take a walk. So if she was not pregnant, what did those people see? The people who eventually came out and said that, yes, she's pregnant and all of that, her husband that lives with her, unless that means the husband also is also a part of this. But anyways, let's move on to President Akufo-Addo. He has made an appeal to world leaders not to use COVID-19 vaccine and vaccination as a tool for immigration control, as that will be retrogressive. His comments comes on the back of the travel measures recently announced by the United Kingdom government, which does not recognize the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine manufactured in India for travels. There have also been several reports of extra scrutiny of persons who receive the AstraZeneca jabs in Europe, and in some instances the vaccination certificates of such persons were not accepted. But addressing the 76th United Nations General Assembly in New York, President Akufo-Addo said such measures must be done away with, and I could not agree any less with our president, because I'm thinking really and truly, I mean, I think they are shooting the foot with the, what's the saying?
Shooting themselves in the foot.
Exactly, they're shooting themselves in the foot, because COVAX is an initiative by WHO to provide vaccination to red list countries in Africa. So now you've provided the vaccination, and you're also allowing other countries to say that the vaccination that you provided for those third world countries are not valid, or the manufacturing is not accepted, or hasn't conducted enough research. Then if the research were not conducted in the first place, why even give them out in the first place?
I like that. I don't sound like a conspiracy theorist alone this morning.
No, seriously.
This is absolutely. I totally agree with you. Let's check out the video
Yes,
first,
absolutely.
and then we'll talk about this particular story.
We in Ghana have so far received 5 million doses, which have been administered to frontline health workers and those classified as being most at risk. 5 million is not a figure to be sneered at, particularly when we consider the situation in many other African countries. We're grateful that our efforts in the management of the pandemic and vaccine distribution have been recognized, and we have received these amounts so far. We're still hoping to vaccinate 20 million of our people by the end of the year. One unfortunate development appears to be the recent measures on entry into some countries in Europe, which suggests that Covishield, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine manufactured in India, is not recognized by these countries. What is intriguing is the fact that this vaccine was donated to African countries through the COVAX facility. The use of vaccines as a tool for immigration control will be a truly retrogressive step. Mr. President, the last time there was such an upheaval in the world was during the Second World War, which led to the establishment of a new world order. This organization, the United Nations, and the other Bretton Woods institutions.
Well, there you go, and you can find the video online if you do want to watch and have an extensive listening to what the president said. But
I mean,
I
the
agree.
hypocrisy has been revealed.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's
I
been
agree.
revealed. That's why from the beginning people were telling you that why do you think European countries would want you to get better? Really? Like you said, COVAX, we created, we send drugs to you, we send the vaccines to you. Now we are saying that you cannot enter
no, but
our
that's the
country.
thing. We send it to third world countries.
You cannot, Charlie, this particular conversation, me, I don't want. It's annoying me. Let's
Let's
move
move
on
on.
from all that and do some sports stories now. Former Cameroon international Samuel Eto'o is to stand as a candidate in the race for the presidency of his country's football federation. The former Barcelona and Inter Milan star made the announcement on his social media pages on Tuesday, saying he had taken the decision out of love for Cameroon and passion for football. The delayed elections are expected to take place on December 11, with the Africa Cup of Nations set to start in Cameroon on January 9. And to some international sports news, Cristiano Ronaldo has replaced Lionel Messi as the highest paid footballer in the world. According to the latest rankings released by Forbes, Ronaldo is set to make $125 million before taxes this season after moving back to Manchester United, with $70 million coming from his salary and bonuses at Old Trafford. The 36-year-old is expected to earn an estimated $55 million from commercial deals, with only 3 athletes set to earn more from sponsorship. That is Roger Federer with $90 million, LeBron James $65 million, and Tiger Woods with $16 million. Lionel Messi, who topped last year's rankings, falls to second place despite sealing a lucrative move to PSG in the summer.
I mean, it all boils down to commercial deals, really and truly. For me personally, I think if you're an athlete and you're not getting commercial deals, or you're not doing as many adverts as you're supposed to do, then I guess that's what happens. But I mean, he signed a great deal at PSG, so let's not even move on to that. Yeah, let's just.
Yes, please.
But it's amazing, amazing. Congratulations to all of them. I mean, that's a huge sum amount of money. I wish I was getting that. Maybe my next life, I'll be a footballer. You never know. But now it's now time for us to deep dive into the world of entertainment and showbiz with our boy, Kavoy. Stay with us.
Quad, welcome to Throwback Thursdays, guys. You know the thing, it is MX Breaks Lifestyle and Entertainment inside the AM Club. Zine and I bring you all updates in lifestyle and entertainment in Ghana and of course across the globe. People are going.
People, wagwan. I mean, today you're giving us turbans.
Give them something different, new style.
I like it.
I give
You
thanks.
look like
I
a
give
buffalo soldier.
Yes, you're really giving us some antique.
Yeah, I saw it this morning. I was like, maybe I should try, because I see you guys. A lot of the guys here, they wear head wraps, but I don't know how
to do that.
I don't know how to do
the
but I just use my t-shirt and just
Is that a t-shirt?
yeah, it's my t-shirt.
Wow, it looks good.
All right, thank you.
It looks good. Take us away.
Love it, bro.
Thank you, guys. Anyway, guys, my name is Kevoy. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at KEVOYB. Now let's jump into our stories. Now, how often is it that someone claims paternity when they haven't been asked? Well, to each their own. Now, Ghanaian comedian Funnyface has been in the news a lot, and he is back again. He posted a picture of a young child stating that she was his oldest daughter. Unfortunately, she lives in Germany with her mother. Why is that unfortunate? Funny Face is known to have 2 twin girls and a baby girl born November 2020 with his baby mother, Vanessa Nicole. Of course, the internet was quickly up in arms, claiming that he was lying and he's just looking for clout. Why would he lie about that? Some were even offended on behalf of his baby mama. Now, Funny Face didn't let that slide and quickly retaliated on social media. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
Yeah, you know what to do. It is in Kasab Van Dam, aka Toshiba, like I always do, Listen, so I posted my daughter. Oh, funny fans, and there is something going on. I've seen some bloggers trying to change everything. Yeah, don't worry. Your man is a different person. What I used to see him back now, only 6 years ago, or some like 12, 17, 20, 24 months. I can't say. I'm trying to say 2 years ago, right? Would have been a big deal, but today, maybe let me say, maybe in Shadam family. Yabwatma is my daughter, and she's in Germany. This is what happened. No, don't let us go deep. But anybody doubting it, I've seen people say, oh, for what? At my age, 20 years in Ghana showbiz, 2001, that about TV series, 2014, 2008, Choco Trotro, 2014, Cow and Chicken, 2019, Kaswa Trotro, 2021, TV series, 20 years in Ghana showbiz. I don't chase clouds. Neither do I like attention. Whilst I'm alive, I should fight for my children. Yes, Yabwatma keeps coming in my dreams and saying, Daddy, fight for me, Daddy, fight for me. Yes, she's my daughter. My first daughter, actually. So this is what we are going to do. Anybody doubting it, including her mother.
You hear that, guys? This guy is not looking for clout, so leave the guy alone.
Yeah, man.
You understand?
Yeah, man. I don't see. I mean, he's been battling mental health because of this whole twin matter. But like he said, he's been in the industry for how many years? What clout is he looking for?
I mean, there's a thing about being in an industry for a long time, and there's a thing about being relevant in the industry.
That's true.
So people think obviously his relevance is dying. So in a sense, he's trying to
So he used his child. So he
used
his child to get clout.
No, not necessarily use his child, but just like use somebody else's child.
To each his own, as
Playing
you
the
said.
devil's
To each
advocate.
his own. The Kardashian Jenners are never gone very far. Following her latest pregnancy announcement, Kylie Jenner has just announced she is dropping a baby care line. Hey, these people are business people. You know? This comes after her Kylie lip kits, her Kylie skin, Kylie swim, and the likes. Oh, yeah, I was singing a song just now. Set to drop on the 28th of September, the soon-to-be mother of 2 claims it's the products she's been using on her daughter for the past 2 years. The products come with a long list of safety tags, including vegan, cruelty-free, and without parabens and silicones. Hey, get in there, Kylie. Get in there. Now, after the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air shaped a generation of young TV watchers, streaming site Peacock is finally ready to bring a dramatic twist to it. They have officially declared the complete cast of the new show, including Jabari Banks, Coco Jones, Adrian Holmes, and more. Hey, it's a lot of rhyming today, producer. What's going on? Now, Jabari, who is set to take up the mantle of Will Smith as Will, even got a personal video call with Will Smith in which he announced that he had gotten the part. Guys, you want to see this? You want to see this?
I
I think I've seen this trailer before. I think they made like a kind of a trailer to it before.
Yeah,
I think we have that trailer. I don't know. I think we have that trailer.
I think it's a good thing, but then again, I don't really want it to
I don't want you to ruin the Fresh Prince for me.
Let's
I
keep
love
what we
that
have
show.
here. It's okay.
Anyways, let's watch this.
It's my favorite show. Saying, but guys, before we go into anything, let's look at the concept trailer that got all of this started.
See, for some reason you think this is a game. This is not a game, Will. Look.
blessed. Money, money, highly respected. Oh no, I ever come to me, jaja.
Hey, we have a caller. We have a caller. We have Ben from Ho. Hello, Ben. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, please.
Awesome.
Great. So I hope you've been enjoying the AM Club so far.
It's been good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So you need to answer 3 questions to win all these gadgets. Well, one of these gadgets here, courtesy Compute Ghana. So first question is, what is today's hashtag?
What is?
Today's hashtag. Today's a Thursday, so what's today's?
Hashtag Throwback Thursday.
Beautiful,
Fantastic.
beautiful Ben from Ho. Also, second question, who hosts or who presents the sports session on the AM Club on Fridays? Come on now, Ben. Come on now. Say again.
Come again.
So on Fridays, we have MX Breaks with entertainment, and then we have our sports update. Who presents that part on the AM Club? What's his name? What's the age? Why you don't watch on Fridays, eh?
No, I actually was the AM Club. Kev Boy, because of Kev Boy.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go, Kev. There you go.
But you need to answer that question, though, because we have a presenter for sports updates on Fridays. You need, it's very easy. I can give you, in fact, let me give you a clue. His name begins with an S, and then his surname also begins with an S, right?
Okay, say his surname. What's his surname?
Okay, say his surname.
His surname is... No, I'll give you his surname and you give us his first name. So his surname is Saki.
Surname is?
Saki. Surname is Saki. So what's the first name?
Hey.
Okay, Ben. Certainly you don't know this one. So sorry, Ben. You have to try again. You need to keep yourself updated.
Yes, tomorrow is a Friday, so do make sure that you watch the show so you know who presents the sports session on the AM Club. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Come on.
All right, so since you guys didn't give away a prize, I'll take it.
No,
the answer is Selwyn Sakio.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. His answer, so the answer is Selwyn Saki.
Yeah, so the answer was
Selwyn
Selwyn
presents
Saki.
the sports segment on Fridays.
Jaja.
Babo, is that all you have for us today?
Yeah, that's all the stories I have for you today. But you don't know, it's Throwback Thursday, so
Yeah,
you
man.
don't know. I bring a song for you guys today.
A song?
Saying, yeah, a song. From Buju Bantan.
Yo!
You guys love Buju?
Of course.
Love Buju, eh?
Of course.
Love
bro.
Buju. This one is called Wanna Be Loved.
Wanna
by
Be
Buju.
Loved.
Wanna Be Loved by Buju.
Let's enjoy
Bantan.
it.
Yeah, man. Let's see it. Oh, so, hey, that's really out of mine. Don't pretend, stop wasting my time. This ultra woman is really hard to find. I tell you, lady, I'm only human. Hey, bossy, hey. I love that song, eh? I love that song. Wanna Be Loved by Buju Bantan. It's a really good song, guys. You should check it out on YouTube. It's a long time song. Before Buju Bantan had real hair.
Yes.
It was in the 90s. It was in the 90s. Very good song.
We have one for you.
But yeah, man. What do you guys have for me today?
We have one.
We have we play it after.
Okay. All right. In that case, guys, that's it for MX Breaks Lifestyle and Entertainment. My name is Kevoy B. Little more, big up yourself.
So that's about it for Coffee Daily today. Remember, September Rush is here. Win fantastic prizes right here at the AM Club. Anytime during the week, really and truly. Unfortunately, Ben could not win today's prize. But as soon as you see the buzzer, which is Malcolm Nuna featuring Kwame Eugene's Money Man remix, you need to call in and the numbers will show on your TV screen for you to win amazing gadgets, courtesy our sponsor, Compute Ghana. Okay, so up next we have Lifestyle Daily, and today we'll be having an educative conversation on sexual transmitted diseases.
Indeed, I'm waiting for that conversation with you. In the meantime, enjoy this one, this old one that used to be a banger there, and it's called Oleku by Ice Prince featuring Brimo. Enjoy it.
Ice Prince.
Hello guys and welcome to Home Fit. Home Fit is a fitness show designed to take care of all your fitness needs. I'm your trainer Brad and I will be taking you through a series of workouts. After a great workout, let's talk nutrition.
Opinions are like onions. Everybody has one.
Abortion is a no-no. As a human being, you must take responsibility for all your actions and inactions. Your misjudgment shouldn't be enough grounds to take a life.
No. I disagree with you because look, if you do not legalize it, people will go to quack doctors anyway who might end up not just kill the baby but the mother as well.
Why should I waste my time, join a long queue under the hot sun to vote for a political party, knowing very well that nothing would be achieved at the end of the day?
Something will be achieved. It's your civic responsibility to turn out to vote. Vote and vote for a good leader.
Governments need to cater to every graduate, diversify the economy, invest in other sectors.
But the government cannot do it all. That is why we need the youth to take up the mantle and set up their own businesses. That is how we will create economic viability.
Here on Opposing Views, we take your views, my views, and the views of the experts and put them in the right context for you, our discerning viewers.
And welcome back. We are live on MX24 with the AM Club, and it's time for our conversation Lifestyle Daily. And today's Healthy Thursday episode, we will be talking about sexually transmitted diseases. Yes, STDs are predominantly transmitted through sexual intercourse, including oral, vaginal, and anal sex. They are caused by the spread of microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, or parasites. Sometimes these infections can be transmitted non-sexually, such as from mothers to their infants during pregnancy or childbirth, or through blood transfusion or shared needles. It's possible to contract an STD without developing symptoms, but some STDs are deadly, can cause extreme pain, discomfort, and or bleeding. However, a lot of people tend to ignore the severity of STDs for a moment of pleasure. Some also delay or refuse to seek health care because it feels embarrassing. But most of these diseases are treatable and they are all preventable. And that is why we will be having this conversation right now.
Okay, so before we get into it, remember you are a major part of the show. And the question I have for you today is, have you ever had to deal with an STD or an STI? If you have, please do send in your experiences via our WhatsApp number 0550 331-511 or tweet us at MX24GH with the hashtag DAM Club. So joining me on this conversation, we have Dr. Aram Mawulolo Dagadu, who is a medical doctor. And joining us via Zoom, we have Chairman Echiahene, who is the Director General of Ghana AIDS Commission. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is the AM Club, this is Lifestyle Daily, and today we want to have an educational session about educating people on STI and STDs. Just like Godwin said in the intro, most people know they have it, but they are too embarrassed to go to a doctor and tell them that they have it. Some of them have it, but they haven't showed any symptoms yet, so they don't do their normal checkups, and it just stays with them and then develops and causes more problem to them. So now, just to start the conversation with you, Dr. Aram. Yes. We're butchering your name left and right, but I guess we got it right now. Okay, so just tell us exactly what an STD is.
Okay, so if I'm to spread it out,
yes,
STD would be sexually transmitted disease. Yes. So by definition, it's a disease that is transmitted sexually.
Yeah, through sexual activities.
And just as the earlier presenter mentioned, it's any sexual activity. I mean, now our lifestyles have become more adventurous, so we have a lot of sexual activities, and it's important to note that all of these sexual activities can give you an STD, in this case, an STD, not an STI. So I'm sure as we move on, we'll get to know the differences between an STI and an STD.
That was exactly my next question to you. So what's the difference between an STD and an STI? Because I think people tend to get the two confused.
Okay, so they are very different. A disease doesn't necessarily have to be an infection. STI, the I there is for infection.
Yeah.
Where infection could be bacterial, viral, parasites, protozoa, whatever microorganism constitutes an infection. So once these microorganisms invade a part of the body and then they start to multiply, we say you've got an infection. However, a disease doesn't necessarily have to be caused by an infection. A disease like hypertension is not caused by an infection. So when you get the infection, you are said to have the infection, but not necessarily said to have a disease. Case in point, HIV. Sometimes we say this person has HIV, but not AIDS. AIDS is the disease, HIV is the infection.
Because we were having this conversation with my producer and we wanted to share more light, which that's why we're going to have a conversation with Chairman Triahine in terms of sharing more light on AIDS and, of course, HIV. So let's move on from that because that's going to be later in the conversation. But then I want to know what are Ghanaians' attitudes towards sexually transmitted diseases and infections. As a medical doctor, what would you say is our reaction towards such thing?
Okay, so it's the reaction or the attitude of Ghanaians. In fact, the attitude of a lot of people towards sexually transmitted diseases is that of what I would call an optimistic bias. We all know it's there. We all know people are having it, but we never think that we will get it. So that's the attitude basically. So we know it's there, but if you go through research, you realize that a lot of people are actually not putting in measures to prevent it because they don't think that it's close to them. So that's it. It's an optimistic bias, and it's true for so many other things, not only STIs, but that's the factor on the ground. But before I move on, let me share an interesting fact. By the time today ends and by the time I go to bed, about 1 million people in the world would have developed an STI fresh.
Wow. Fresh.
Not,
straight out of the oven. Fresh.
Not considering those who already have it.
Wow.
By the time the day ends, 1 million worldwide. And that should tell you how prevalent it is. And it's very common, more common than we think. So with that at the back of our minds, I mean, I could be the next million.
Absolutely.
It could be...
I mean, the percentages are very high.
Very high.
So, okay,
Very
so
high.
in that terms, you talked about preventing it. So how do one prevent it or prevent themselves from transmitting it to somebody or getting it themselves?
Okay. So prevention is actually pretty simple when it comes to sexually transmitted infections. There is the simplest form of prevention, which is abstinence, that a lot of people don't like to hear. But yes, once you are not having sex or you are not performing sexual activities, you are not going to get any sexually transmitted infection. However, if you can't abstain, then there are so many things that you can do. There are barrier methods by way of condoms, male or female. There are some things we call cervical caps that can also be used. But then again, these barrier methods can only protect you from the sexually transmitted infections that involve bodily fluids. So semen, vaginal discharges and all those things. So those ones you would be protected if you were to use a barrier method like a condom or a cervical cap or something of the sort. However, there are other kinds of sexually transmitted infections that come about just by contact, mere contact. So you may be wearing a condom, but your pubic part is touching the lady's pubic part, and you can be transferring something to her. You are kissing, and you are transferring something through the kissing. So in that instance, the next best thing would be to get tested before you involve yourself in any sexual activity with any person. If you have a new partner, make sure you know each other's status before you end up doing anything with the person. Or if you find out that you maybe have exposed yourself to something, I mean, if you are doubtful, when in doubt, clear that out before you go ahead doing anything.
Okay, so now let's move on to Treme Etuahine, who is the Director General of Ghana AIDS Commission. Hello, hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Can I call you Treme?
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of the statistics, when it comes to the current state of HIV and AIDS cases in Ghana, can you please share more light on that for us?
Right. Thank you. As at the end of 2020, about 346,000 people were estimated to be living with HIV. Of this number, more than 229,000 were females. That's about 66%. And that indicates that the epidemic is actually carrying a female's face. In other words, females or women are disproportionately affected by the epidemic because they bear the high disease burden.
Okay, but before you continue, Mr. Etuahine, I want to also ask, is there a particular reason why it is more dominant with the female gender than the male gender?
Well, that is because of a number of factors, but principally is because of the biology.
Okay.
Biology, because the female, first of all, let me say that the most common mode of transmission of HIV in the country, as it is in many other countries, is sexual contact. And so in that context, in terms of biology, we are looking at the nature of the female sexual organ, which is more of a receptacle. The vaginal walls are quite fragile compared to that of male penis. And also, there are some socio-economic factors as well, especially when it comes to power relations between men and women. Women do not have much of power when it comes to decision making as to whether to protect or not to protect oneself during sex. And besides that, there is a high prevalence of intimate violence, that is the partner, maltreating the female in one way or the other, which has been found to be one of the prevalent causes of HIV transmission among couples. We have situations of forced sex rape, and if you remember the recent report of the Ghana Health Service on teenage pregnancy shows that during the lockdown, a number of adolescents were sexually abused, which resulted in pregnancies. And these abuses actually came from relations and people close to their families. And that is quite worrying.
Yes, it is.
And so these things happen quite often in our communities. And so there are a number of factors that account for the female vulnerability to HIV, and not only HIV, as Dr. Degadi said, to sexually transmitted infections as well.
Okay. So
and of course, unwanted pregnancies.
Okay. So my other question is, people might think that there is a common knowledge as to how to prevent one from contracting HIV. However, people ignore it. Would you say it's because of the lack of awareness and education when it comes to the particular disease?
I think Dr. Dagadu explained that point quite well, and I would like to associate myself with that explanation. Everybody thinks that they are immune, more or less, or insulated from the infection, but they believe that others can have it, but it is quite remote for them to have it. And so the lack of appreciation or recognition of personal risks is a major challenge here. That aside, I would like to explain that the prevention methods that we promote and encourage people to adopt is based on the data. And it clearly shows that, as I said, the most common mode of transmission of HIV, and of course for many other sexually transmitted diseases, is sexual contact. And that's about, for HIV, it's about 80%. And so it is expected that 80% of people who live with HIV in the country got it through sexual activities.
Yeah.
And therefore, our approach is to ensure that we prevent HIV. First, by encouraging people, especially young people who have never had sex, to abstain from sex. And those who have even ever had sex and willing to abstain, we encourage them to do so. Because it is important that, especially so far as the young people are concerned, we have a generation free of HIV.
Yes.
If the young people today who have never had sex abstain from sex until they are married, then, and if from thence they also protect themselves and ensure that they do not get HIV, then that generation will be free from HIV. And that will give us the opportunity to break the chain of transmission of HIV in the country.
Okay.
The other method is being faithful to one's uninfected partner. It is important that everyone who is in sexual relationship, whether married, cohabiting, or just having casual sex, it's important for you to know your own HIV status and that of your partner.
Absolutely.
You don't have to have sex with anyone until you know for sure that the person has or does not have the infection. The importance of that is it helps you to take appropriate decisions. Decisions like, yes, it doesn't mean if a person has HIV, he cannot have, sexual relation.
Yeah.
But he has to protect himself and protect the partner.
Okay.
And so use of condom, as Dr. Dagadi said, becomes very important.
Yeah.
And then if they are both negative and they remain faithful to each other. Without having any stress, having any games outside their relationship, then they are in a better position to use, to have sex, unprotected sex.
Okay.
But if they have every reason to believe that they are still at risk, then it is important to be consistent in using condoms correctly at all times.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Treme Etuahine, who is the Director General of Ghana AIDS Commission, for sharing more light on the prevention and what needs to be done in terms of HIV in Ghana here, especially when it comes to the youth. I think he made quite a few solid points, but then again, he mentioned quite a few things that in my head I'm thinking, is it really realistic in terms of abstaining oneself from having sex and, you know, being in a relationship and testing and all of that? But then my question is, how many times should one test? Is it when you are about to be in a relationship, during the relationship, or after the relationship?
Okay, so the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, recommends that the frequency of testing should be at least once a year.
Once a year.
Once a year, that's the
least.
The least.
Okay.
However, there are exceptions. There are things that you have to put into consideration. If you are someone who is just about becoming physical with someone, it's advised that you get tested. If you, like I said earlier, if you are worried that you have contracted something, if you start seeing certain signs and symptoms that make you question if you probably have contracted something, you should get tested.
Okay, so now let's talk about the testing procedures, the financial side of it.
Okay.
How easy for somebody to just go into the hospital and just get tested? Is it expensive? Is it easy for somebody to just go and get themselves tested? Because, I mean, if it's something that is expensive, one might say, I do not have the money to go and get tested. And I think Mr. Treme also did mention quite a few things in terms of women being the higher rates in terms of the side when it comes to sexually transmitted diseases because of many factors such as rape, such as not having economical stabilities, and just maybe in some areas being the inferior gender as well and not being able to just have their own say. So how easy is it for one to just go to the hospital and just get themselves tested, and how expensive it is as well?
In two simple words, very easy. It's very easy. You can just walk into the hospital and say, I want to have an HIV test, and it will be done for you. In some places it's free. The kits are not so expensive, so in some places actually doing HIV testing is free. Doing syphilis tests, it's called a VDRL test. They are actually very accessible.
Okay.
So it's not hard at all. Just like how even currently the world.
But how much is it?
I can't state prices here.
Okay.
I can't state prices here, but it's really.
Can the average Ghanaian afford it?
Ghanaian can afford it. The poor person can afford it. The person who lives on the streets can afford it.
Okay. Well, let's quickly get final words from Mr. Treme Etuahine, who is the Director General of Ghana AIDS Commission. Mr. Etuahine, please, your final words, quickly.
Right. Thank you very much. But before then, let me also contribute to what Dr. Dagadi said. First of all, HIV test is free in all health facilities in the country, be it private or.
So there's absolutely no excuse for anybody to not get themselves tested.
Exactly. And testing, how many times should one test? It depends on one's risk, level of risk. People with low risk, well, you may test once a year. But there are some people with high risk. For example, people who engage in anal sex. So if a woman engages in anal sex with her partner, or a male having sex with another male, their risk is very, very high. In fact, it's more than 18 times higher than that of one who has vaginal sex.
Okay.
And so women who also engage in, who commercialize sex, let me put it that way.
Okay.
They are also at very high risk.
Okay.
People who inject drugs. People who engage in sex orgies, serial monogamy. They have one partner today, tomorrow they change to another partner, and it continues like that. Those who involved in casual sex. It can be heterosexual, it can be homosexual. They are all at very high risk. If you are changing your partners frequently and also having multiple concurrent partnerships, your risk is very high. And you are advised to test at least twice in a year.
All right.
But of course, you have to continue using condom.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much. That was Mr. Treme Etuahene, who is the Director General of Ghana AIDS Commission. Now, Doc, final words. What do you have to say for the people watching out there? But actually, before you give your final words, let me read some of the comments coming in on WhatsApp. So this person said, hello, I'm the person of our sac addiction from the Upper East, precisely Baku. Just yesterday, my best friend called me complaining that his penis is itching him anytime he tries to pee. He further told me his penis is itching him, he tries rubbing it and it ends up seeing liquid coming out of his penis, just like a boiled liquid. I told him it's gonorrhea. Please ask the good man how he can cure it. Quickly.
He should go to the hospital.
Please go to the hospital. Go to the hospital immediately, please. Okay.
Yeah.
So one last one. Good morning, AM Club. Best morning show so far. Doctor, good morning. Please, did you say one can get the STD through kissing? Because me, I love kissing because it boosts my immune system. Share, no darling cry. But how is that possible? I have done the test years back before, which I was safe. It's been a while. Do I still need to get myself tested? My name is Kobe. Best of the success to AM Club, and I can be a member too. You are definitely a member. Please.
So it depends on the specific type of STD. I don't think we went into that. There are different types, and they can be transmitted differently. So for something like herpes, herpes, which can be transmitted through contact, just having physical contact with the person who has it can get you infected. So yes, kissing, you can get herpes through that. Maybe you will not get something like, okay, no, let me not go into it. Once you have a small cut somewhere, I mean, you may not know, you may have a small cut in your mouth or something. HIV can go through there. Hepatitis B can go through there. So kissing, yes, you can get some infections through that.
Okay.
So that's basic. So if you like kissing, I'm not telling you to stop kissing. Just know your status.
Yeah. Okay.
And get your guy also tested so that two of you would be safe.
Okay. So this is from Daniel McDaniels from Takoradi. He said, Doc, he did not give us the difference between STI and STD. He did. He actually did in the beginning, meaning that you start watching the show very late.
So let's just help them out. If you have the infection and the infection is not symptomatic, you are not getting any signs and symptoms, you can say you have the infection. However, when symptoms start to develop, when you start getting the rash, when you start getting the difficulty, when you start getting all those other signs and symptoms associated with sexually transmitted infections, then we say it has progressed to disease.
To the disease. Okay. So, okay. Anyways, I wanted to ask another question, but let's just quickly wrap up the conversation. Any final words?
Yes, there are a number of misconceptions out there. Some people believe that if you use other means, other sexual means, if you go through the back door or you go through the top, you can't get an STI. That is false. Some people believe you can get STI through public toilets. That is false. Some people believe so many things. There are so many misconceptions out there, and I would like to just state that a lot of them are false. You need to get your information from credible sources, and the best source is the hospital. HIV, STI is not a death sentence. That's going to be my final words. Whatever STI it is that you think that you have, it's not a death sentence, even if it is incurable. Some of them are incurable. You can go on to live a pretty normal life.
Okay, so that was Dr. Eram Mawulolo Dagaju, who is a medical doctor. And that's about it for Lifestyle Daily today on the AM Club. I hope you learned a lot, because I did. And coming up next, we have today's hashtag, and is Throwback Thursday. But before we move on to the next segment, this is Vera by D Black. Enjoy.
My goodness, this one. Oh, thank you very much, Emma Fachichi, for that word. Vera by D Black. That's a proper throwback. Welcome back. You're watching the AM Club right here on MX24. Remember to join the conversation with the hashtag the AM Club. A quick reminder that September Rush is still on. Guys, starting this week. We've been doing this for some time now. Now, you have a chance of winning fantastic prizes from our sponsors, Compute Ghana and Cheesy Pizza on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because it's half price. Buy one, get one free. So all you need to do is to call in when you hear the buzzer. The buzzer is Malcolm Nuna featuring Kwame Eugene's Money Man remix. It's a music video, so when you see it on your screen, just call the numbers on your TV screen and you will answer just 3 simple questions and walk away with some gifts from our sponsors. But it's now time for Throwback Thursday, and I'm super excited. Throwback Thursday is dedicated to the arts of our early golden days. In today's segment, we will be interacting with one of the gurus that kept us entertained in those days, and he continues to do so even till now. He's a multiple award-winning record artist, songwriter, producer, and performer. Officially, he is Eli Plim. I didn't know this. Eli Plim Yawatimo, but prefers to be called is Sheka.
Do you know what he does? Every single time when there's somebody who's from the Volta region that comes on the show, he tries to recruit them because that's what he does. So that's why he's happy.
Can
you imagine? You see? Your members are increasing. I'm happy for you.
Welcome to the AM Club, man. Good to have you. Oh boy, where do we start from? Sheka, we need like 2 hours for this conversation.
We really do.
Hey, goodness. Okay, so I wanted us to play your video before we start a conversation. For those who don't remember, if it is possible, Chichi, let's play this one. School. I don't know if we have it. Chad, how many years? 12 years?
Yeah, 11.
11 years.
I think so.
Yeah, I won't go central. Do we have it? Can we play briefly, just a bit of it before we jump into the conversation, please?
I need Jackie. How are you, Jackie? My sweet Jackie. Dear Jackie. Dear Jackie. Yeah, dear Jackie. Dear Jackie. Dear Jackie, what they happen? You dey carry me. We go way back. Remember, I used to call you wifey. Every Friday, you dey buy Kele Wele for my junction. Right now, I see that you are into lights, camera, action. Right now, you are on everybody's television. In fact, let me cut to the chase. For you, I'm tripping. I'm itching to see you again. To express myself. You see, the love I had for you 10 years ago is still existing.
Oh, goodness. Ladies and gentlemen. So that one is Jackie up here. Another banger. I think this one came when I was on campus back then. Another banger. We'll play school later, but Sheka, welcome to the AM Club once again. Let's talk about how it began for you, really, your music career. Let's start it briefly, and how you were part of this big group called Skillions, and you guys were like entertaining us back and forth with very interesting and funny songs.
Absolutely.
Charlie, crazy. I really have to try and summarize it.
Absolutely, we'll be very grateful.
It's a really long story, but after high school, I formed a group. We were called Kafungwe. It was just 4 of us, and at that time, we didn't have money to do professional demos. So we were looking for a producer who was on the come up, who was also trying to help me, the young ones. And then one of the guys who was in my group lived at Adenta, and was like, oh, I know some guy they record boys for a room. You just get some Pentium 1 and Pentium 2, you know. And that was J-So.
Oh, okay.
So that's how come I met J-So.
J-So.
Yeah.
And J-So was the first person I saw producing a beat, and that's what caught my eye from then on. Yeah. Charlie, the story long. But before I actually joined Skillions, after Kafungbe, I left that group and formed another group called Mike Records. That was me, Joey B, Graphic, and then Kilmatic.
And when was that?
Hey!
What year was that?
I don't remember, honestly.
Kilmatic, that's another group.
Kilmatic produces for RTVs now.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about Skillions, where I know that you guys were throwing bangers back and forth. You were made up of so there was
like
you.
We were like 10.
Brad Kevin,
me, Brad Kevin, Joey, Kilmatic, Papa, Rumo, Padlock. Who am I forgetting?
Don't worry, forgive him. It's been a while. Okay, so now when it comes to, you just mentioned how it all started, but then when it comes to your musical career as well, because you're also a producer.
Yes.
So when it comes to your musical career, when did that happen for you, and when did it all start?
Like I said, when I met Jaso and
Okay.
we actually did our first 4 demos.
Okay.
He was the first person, like I said, I saw making beats, and I was like, nah. It looks very difficult, but I'm intrigued.
Okay.
So I need to find the software for that.
Okay.
And at that time, I didn't have a PC and all
Okay.
that, so I used to go to my friend's place to actually learn. You know, yes.
So the producing and the music all started together, like around the same time.
Yeah, exactly. But the rap started first,
Okay.
and then the production came after.
Okay.
But I fell in love with the production more onwards.
Okay, all right.
And Sheka, how's the journey been so far? From school to letter to Jackie Apia to hello, will you be my hello to Sana, you be lie, you know, you sing, you rap. How's the journey been for you
For me, it's been a learning process, and it's still a learning process for me, because back then we were actually really doing it purely for the fun, for the passion. We didn't even think about the business. Trust me, if we had the mentality we had now. Then trust me,
of course you are breaking a lot at a time.
Yeah, but I'm grateful for how far I've come and where I'm going. So,
Now, so the music, we like to say music is very dynamic and it changes as time goes on. So how would you say the music industry in Ghana has changed over the last 10 years?
I would say business-wise, it's making sense now, because you can attest to the fact that when we were doing the GH rap, especially, it was sort of frowned upon. You know, like we are trying to copy the Western and all that. But we've all come to accept that, like you said, music is dynamic, and even though we are tapping it from other parts of the world, we are actually adding what we have here as well to it. And what I'm happy about now is how people are actually buying the music, streaming the music. Back then, when you hear the song, you go to www.
There was so many websites at the time.
So business-wise, it's making sense now. The Nigerians were way ahead of us, but trust me, we're catching up.
Let's talk about your partnership with Kojo Q. You know, because from Skillions, you started with Kafumbe, then you did the
Mike Records,
Skillions. Now you are, even though you're a solo artist, you also do a lot of stuff with Kojo Q. Tell us about that.
Kojo and I, before we actually did pen and paper, we weren't that close. That's the funny thing. He was more closer to L than myself. Obviously, because L brought him to the family, you know. But as time went on, we're in our own space, trying to figure things out at a point, and we're like, oh, maybe we try record like 1 or 2 songs together and see. And I was like, okay. For me, I was yet towards something else, but he pushed me. I was like, Charlie, make we try and see if we do 1 or 2 songs, we will free release them. And I was like, oh, I have a couple of stuff that I don't think I really like, but if you want to listen to them. So I played him a couple of stuff that I wasn't done. Then he had pen and paper. It was like half done. I did the beat and then the chorus, and I was like, yo, this is fine. And then he did 4 bars, I did 4 bars, he did 4. And then we recorded that song, and I was like, damn, we could do 2 more.
We could do 2 more. Let's go.
And then we did pen and paper.
Yo, man, that has been big since. Sheka, I want to know how challenging. I've seen you work. I mean, I was at BBNZ with you, so I've seen you work. He's a hard worker. Day and 90s in the studio. Sheka doesn't go anywhere. You see him take his top off and he's just messing with You know, we come to work in the morning and Sheka has produced some crazy beat in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
How challenging has it been for you, really, though?
It's been very challenging in terms of putting the music out, because it entails a lot. For me, writing and recording the songs for me, it's not a problem. I have like 1,000 songs in there, but it's actually putting it out and letting everybody hear it. That's the challenging part. So, like I said, it's still a learning process. We've learned a lot from making music purely based on passion to actually trying to market it, actually trying to have the team to actually market it. One of the songs that we actually really marketed was Mama. Right, you know, and we were surprised. We marketed pen and paper as well, but when we marketed Mama, we saw the difference.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to just like divert a bit from the main conversation. I really want you to, as a producer point of view and a musician point of view that's been in the game for quite some time now, I really want you to mention your top three. Top three, Dean, but try. Top 3 musicians in Ghana for you personally as an individual. Try.
So if you say musicians, do you mean just a rapper or someone who makes beats and rap?
Okay, you mix it all for us. So
Ghana.
Somebody who can do it all, or just somebody who's just a musician.
Top 3.
Top 3.
In no particular order.
No particular order at all.
Jesus. Okay. J-So-E-L Kojo King.
Wow.
Why those 3? Why those 3? Now I'm going to ask you the next question. Why those 3? Why?
Do you beg to differ?
Not at all. But then why those 3?
You said top 3. I have a lot, but if you push me to the wall.
3. Okay, let's make it 5.
L because he's a rapper, singer, producer, writer.
He has it all.
Yeah.
Kojo, he produces as well. I'm sure you don't know. He produces as well. He's a writer. He's a he produced some of the songs on Pen and Paper.
Wow.
Yeah, low key.
I see. So for you, quote unquote, a better artist would be someone who's capable of multitasking. Yeah, able to produce, rap, like Kanye. You say like Kanye. Like Kanye.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I want to put you on the spot. Cheka is amazing. You know. I wanted to play. Look at beatbox, give and make it give us some freestyle or something.
Hey.
Yes. It's a hey for me. Hey.
Before that, as you're thinking about it,
don't beatbox. Let me just. This thing, people they like her.
Okay.
She they give pressure, Papa. She they dress like a two no girl when they show face like baja. If you know be something like a fragam that on time pep boy some more dress like a Kiki. Are you eat me? If I was your favorite food, will you eat me? Because of you, I am no more a player. I'm a giant Mbappe. PSG C44. C44. That's Jama. Just Jama. Do you want a story about that one too?
Yes.
That's a crazy story. So my boss Alvin, he was on tour with our boss. He was on tour with Lauryn Hill and Pato was on. Yeah, so I had a video call. I was like, someone wants to speak to me. Pato was like, yo, I'm a big fan. You and Kujoku. I'm like, are you serious? I was like, okay. He said he wanted to work in the future. Fast forward, I was there and my boss sent me an audio. It was like, Pato wants you to do this. I'm like, hey. And then I played it and it was jam. I was like, the first thing I thought was, why didn't I think of this? You know, because it's purely Ghanaian song. And someone from Nigeria comes just knock it. I was like, okay. So I did 3 verses. That's how hyped I was. And I sent it to him and he took that one.
Wow. That's crazy.
You know, our time is running. So in the spirit of throwing back, which hood in Ghana did you grow up in? You have moved around.
Sankara. Adenta. Now I'm at Northridge.
Okay.
Sankara. Where's Sankara again?
Hey.
Are you asking me? Why are you asking me? We are some of all the people.
Kanda and there's Sankara.
Yeah, so after Kanda.
After Kanda is Sankara.
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
What are your fond memories of the place?
Sankara.
Growing up, joint with them, people know for Sankara. Wow, Charlie.
No, Maki, the time, I did the compound. I did play football at the ramp.
That's it.
So that's
no go out, no nothing.
Correct the B,
Okay, so in terms of your activities that are recently out there or anything that you're going to put out there, talk about your works, what's coming up, what do you have in store for us?
I'm definitely working on a project. This is the first time I'm saying this. Last year, I had like 2 projects waiting.
Exclusive! Let me just put it out there. Exclusive.
I had like 2 projects waiting, right? And I was supposed to drop one last year.
Okay.
And then my machine crashed.
Oh, wow.
My hard disk, my backup, everything.
That was last year?
Oh, yeah. You remember, right? So I had to start from scratch. Now I have like 3 projects waiting.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I'm going to drop maybe 2 songs before the year ends. And then a project next year.
Fantastic. That is dope. We cannot wait for that.
So your last song will be...
Okay, I did a freestyle with Kojo.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was pure fun. That was just to sweep the way.
Clear the way.
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
Boys.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. So I don't even remember the rest. We just did a freestyle. We just put it out. Yeah, I like to say this to Kojo is about to drop his project too, so people should actually get ready for that. Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
For my brothers out there, for my brothers.
One of the best albums, bro.
Shaker, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
We're excited to have you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
He's officially an AM Club member.
Absolutely. So do feel free to come, and when the project drops, do feel free to come here. Let us
I'll come
know.
here, talk about it.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Because the exclusivity now is deep
and
down.
Family.
Yes,
that's right.
Family. We are family now. So if anybody wants to contact you, reach you, are you on any social media platforms? Let us know.
Yeah, they can hit me up on Instagram, Shaker This, same on Twitter, same on Facebook.
Okay,
Shaker,
fantastic.
thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Much love. So let's check out one of Shaker's bangers back then. Enjoy.
I go make a even if you don't believe me.
We are young. You know if we read the sign. No, I don't.
Type of nigga where you go like play plus. We cry and light work. If I ball my dog, you know go like where I go take pass. Where we can you? The streets is cold now, saying yeah.
Opinions are like onions. Everybody has one.
Abortion is a no-no. As a human being, you must take responsibility for all your actions and inactions. Your misjudgment shouldn't be enough grounds to take a life.
No. I disagree with you because look, if you do not legalize it, people will go to quack doctors anyway who might end up not just kill the baby, but the mother as well.
Why should I waste my time, join a long queue under the hot sun to vote for a political party, knowing very well that nothing would be achieved at the end of the day?
Something will be achieved. It's your civic responsibility to turn out to vote. Vote and vote for a good leader.
Governments need to cater to every graduate, diversify the economy, invest in other sectors.
But the government cannot do it all. That is why we need the youth to take up the mantle and set up their own businesses. That is how we will create economic viability.
Here on Opposing Views, we take your views, my views, and the views of the experts and put them in the right context for you, our discerning viewers.
Hello guys and welcome to Home Fit. Home Fit is a fitness show designed to take care of all your fitness needs. I'm your trainer Brad and I will be taking you through a series of workouts. After a great workout, let's talk nutrition.
Angelina, you be cool in my temperature. If you call,
say cheese, take a picture. Shake a pose, make a see, take a picture.
in the leg book, boah, 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 boah.
Why the party there today? Hey mama, hey I have a sip. Shake your
Wagwan, my people, welcome to X Cave.
A boy's body count and a girl's body count matter differently.
Wow, ladies.
Probably an experience, something that happened.
Is it a deal breaker in a relationship?
No.
The X Cave, and this show focuses on topics that are hot on the lips of our young people and presents it in an open, honest conversation.
Oh, look at him, he's crying, he's such a girl.
In other words, there are no liars on our show.
The man is the head of the home. The man is, quote unquote, the breadwinner.
We come here with the truth.
We talk of something being toxic. It's something which is harmful or unpleasant.
Stay glued to the television for the hottest show on TV.
Hey, Doc.
Have you seen the new music videos everyone is talking about? Do you know how your favorite artist makes their music? I'm moving, but they be bluffing and puffing and they be screaming and yapping, some even feeling and bragging. First thing is, I'm patient. That talented upcoming artist in your area needs the spotlight. Let them be our unsung star. Do you have any questions about music? I am Jason Delay, and I'm a music plug on MX Chart right here on MX24.
Hey, Abrantia, Aketesia, Ibi Family, Chale, MX24. My baby, must say, baby, about them people that do Mama and bad.
Hey guys, this is your girl, Miss Sasha.
This is the best MC, best hype man in Ghana 2020. I beg you success, the highest MC. Keep watching MX24.
It is fun, it is fearless, it is factual.
Meson, ni besibia, meson.
Boys and tip, pulling in the Benz on Jerry. My man from me, I don't think. Feels like
It'll go on rough. Streets in Achama get to need the beef for the failure.
Gentlemen, if you just tuned in, you've missed out on a lot, but all is not lost. It's now time for the plug, and we are having so much fun on the AM Club, coming to you live from our studios here at the Silicon Square. This is MX24. You are a major part of the show. You just have to send us a message on our social media handles at MX24 with the hashtag the AM Club. My heart is beating because we're dancing in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, barely a year ago, a sound emerged from Ghana. To be specific, the Ashanti region. They call it Kumerica, and it's been a sensation over the past few months. It's banging everywhere. It's drill beats, it's street raps, it's attitude, it's everything. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you this morning our guest for the plug, Kofi Jamal. Oh my goodness. Oh, Kofi, you're officially a club member.
Yes, we don't even need to continue the conversation. You're a club member. Please do feel free to come here any day, any time, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
I need exercise. My heart is still beating.
Me too. I'm out of breath, literally.
Oh my goodness, Kofi, we're glad to have you. Let's talk about you and let's talk about Kumerica. Let's talk about drill beats. Like I said, barely a year ago, we don't know where it came from. Suddenly, like, you know, these drill beats, these hardcore raps from Kumasi started emerging. You guys called it Kumerica. How has it been for you, really?
Well, it's been a kind of a thrill, you know, because this has been like a revolution of our time, you know, and it's been a long while since Kumasi people like musicians back in Kumasi made a trend in the country or a trended across the country. So this movement was sort of something to like uncover the talents in Kumasi for people for the world to really hear them out.
Wow. Yes. And let's talk about how it's been for your colleagues. Like you said, Kumasi is now the main thing. You know, these gentlemen, these young, for instance, Kofi, what's his name? Yatok, who is still a student. You know, what do you think this means for the guys in Kumasi? This trend, this new age music.
Well, first of all and foremost, it's giving them hope because it became a term back there that like you can't be a star until you come to Accra or pursue the music like you relocate here. So it's like broke that code for them to be able to achieve it, and they have put that belief in them that they can do it from wherever they are. That's the first and foremost. And now like this whole drill and Asaka music, this whole America is feeding people, actually, it's feeding families, and it's a great thing.
That's fantastic.
It's larger than life out there for us.
So now let's talk about Kumerica, the term Kumerica. I mean, right now, when everybody's in Kumasi, it's like, Charlie, Kumerica, you know, that's the official name. When did that name come from?
Well, that was a blend of Kumasi and our culture and with the American culture, the whole American culture, so Kumerica. Kumasi and America, blending it together. And I feel like way back, Kumasi have always been a city that is known for people trying to imitate that foreign
Yeah.
culture.
From fashion to the way we
to the
speak.
So that kind of like, so
it's been there.
Yeah, it only fell into place, and we already, that was something that was already there. So as this whole movement came about, it really made people like put the lens on us to really see and watch what is happening there, and they found out, yo, these people have been dope since. So that's kind of like it.
And why drill beats? Because I know that drill beats is more to a UK thing, isn't it?
Yes,
more UK thing instead of America.
I think it's because it's a new sound,
right?
And also it falls into the kind of like the Afrobeat genre. The drill have a resonation with the Afrobeat in a way that people don't like actually see, but you have to pay attention to know. Like I say Jama, it's like that's Soloku Jama. So it really falls into place with it.
Okay, so in terms of you making music, you mentioned obviously the Soloku Jama. Like what goes into producing or making a sound and then putting the lyrics and everything together? What goes into it?
Well, first and foremost, I catch the vibe and what I want the song to do for me.
Okay.
If I want the song to be played in a club, if I want the song to be played for lovers, if I want the song to be, it's just a mellow song. It just first and foremost the intention that I want the song to convey, and also I'll fall into that vibe. If I want it to hit in the club, because of what I say, I have to feel that vibe of that whole Jama, that whole rowdy boys making noise everywhere, that kind of mood. So I have to fall into it, and I have to think of the lyrics, terms that I feel like it will relate to the people and my own personal experiences.
But one thing that I also love is how you put our culture, especially in your music videos, when it comes to the Ashanti region, our traditional culture. And one will say, our traditional culture, we are losing it. So I love the fact that it's like you're reviving it and introducing it to the youth as well. So how important is that for you?
Yeah, I feel with time, we are making the drill our own. As we got the sound first, it was a foreign sound. But now if you listen closely, we are making it more our own. We are using much more of our terms, much more of our drum lines, our instrumentations and everything. So we are gonna we make it a revolution and like try to make it our own, much more better. So it means a lot to like, you see that from High Life, our song evolved to Hip Life, right?
Yes.
And the Hip Life was like a combination of hip hop and high life. So this is like a trend taking over again, like the same trend that happened back in the 2000s. So yeah,
so it's evolving. Music is
exactly. You just mentioned how music is diverse.
We're going to talk about your solid EP, Appetite for Distraction. My goodness, the name is just, but I just want to know how long you've been doing this music professionally.
Well, I say professionally, I say 7 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, because Asaka have been there for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time.
But it just became a thing.
A thing now,
like last year. Wonderful. So let's talk about Appetite for Distraction. Where did you get? Why that name?
Well, Appetite for Distraction. Back in Kumasi, say if somebody like does something well, you can say, yo, what's that hole? So it's not distraction like distraction, but say maybe say or like I'm gonna spoil mine with the song. I'm gonna like
Ukondo say over sell.
Yeah,
why the song? Why be a G?
For real, because back in Kizai, so we're real estate, I feel G. If you're keeping it solid, you say, yo, you're G. If you're keeping whatever you're doing, like, you're a hustler now, keeping it solid, you don't fake it, whatever you do, you're a G, you're a realist. So that's like that term to all my fellas out there, I'm keeping up with the hustle, they are keeping it solid.
Yeah,
just to give them that, you're G.
You're representing. Yeah. So in terms of collaboration and future plans, I mean, you just mentioned your EPs, the album is also coming up. In terms of collaboration, is there anybody in particular that you would like to collaborate with?
Ghana, Africa?
Wow, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Angelique Kidjo is on my list.
Wow, fantastic.
Bro, you have big dreams.
Yes, that's great.
I would love to feature Safo there also. Yeah, and
that would be massive.
Yeah, that would be massive. Burna Boy, Wizkid, a lot of them.
He's a visionary.
Yeah, I know, and I know he'll make it happen as well.
I love this. I love it. You won awards at the 3 Music Awards as well.
Okay, I got nominated.
I got nominated.
I got 3 nominations. and also 7 nominations at the Ghana Music Awards.
There you go.
That's fantastic.
Solid.
That's really solid.
So the EP is streaming? Is on platforms?
Yeah, out on all platforms. It's really doing well. Also on the Apple Music charts. Also, like the genre is worldwide and it's trending on like number 2.
Wow, fantastic. So if anybody wants to go and listen to, where do they go? I mean, just
iTunes, Apple Music, Audio Max, Spotify, Deezer, everywhere. Every streaming platform. Boomplay also, they are really like holding it down for us here in Ghana. So shout outs to Boomplay.
Boomplay, absolutely.
Kofi, time is
But it's been amazing having you. It's been amazing having you. So, Kofi, that's about it for the plug and the AM Club live on MX24. My name is the one and only Edma Ohimala. You can reach me on all my social media platforms at Edma Lawer, EDMALAWER.
Now, before I mention my name, let's thank our guests for today, Edma, shall we? Lifestyle Daily.
Lifestyle Daily, we had...
Doctor?
The name I can't pronounce it. Eram. I did it right. Eram, who was a medical doctor. We also have Tremne Etiahene, who is the General...
Director General for the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Absolutely.
And then on Throwback Thursday, we had a very old Sheikh. Had so much fun. And of course, we have the one and only Kofi Jama representing Kumerica joining us on the plug. It's been fun. We're back here tomorrow. It's a Friday. Foodie
Friday. I did something very interesting. I can't wait to show you guys tomorrow.
So you can stay, join us. The conversation continues even after the show. It's the AM Club at MX24GH on all social media platforms. And my name is Godwin Namboh at Godwin Namboh on all social media platforms. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy this one by Kofi Jama. It's his latest song. What do we call it?
Mia G.
Mia G.
See you tomorrow.